अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोक्षर बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपनु गौरिया गुरु वार्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल व्रजमंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय। श्री ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। सारार्थ-दार्शिनी वृत्ति की जय। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। श्री कालिया दमन की जय। श्री पवित्र रूपानी एकादशी तिथि की जय। तिथि पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। One second, Oh, Krishna. Okay. I'm going to have to disappear for a minute and then come back because it's making me close Chrome, which I'm using right now, and reopen it so that after I give permission to record my screen. Anyways, so I'm going to, just letting you know, I'll disappear. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne gauratishe namaha. Guruve gaurachandraya radhikaya tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna bhaktaya tarbhaktaya namo namaha. Yang pravrajantamanupetam apetakrityam dvaipayano viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo vinedu stang sarva bhuta hridayam munimanatosmi narayanam namaskritya narang chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Shrinvatang Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridantasta Yabhadrani Vidhunot Vidhunoti Suhrit Satam Nashta Prayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina. 1 second. Okay. Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina. Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvang Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Kshiptashtakama Madhe Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charana Ravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh, I'm missing all the comments because I had to close this and open it again. Anyhow, Dandavat pranams to everybody who's here. I think I saw Madhavi Didi and Ganga Didi before. Probably Raseshwari Mataji's here. I don't know, Rup Manjari Didi. Yes, Rup Manjari Didi. Dandavat pranams. Everybody else, Dandavat pranams. Okay, so I'm using a new computer now, so that's why I had to. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to go over too much of a recap because I'm late now and we should just jump into it. I also at the end would like to read about Julan Yatra, so I'll do that. Oops, how do I close this? There. The history of Kāliya. There. Okay, so verse 1. Shirajuvacha Nagalayang Ramanakam Katang Tatyaja Kāliya Kritam king va suparnasya tenaikena samanjasam. Having thus heard how Lord Krishna chastised Kāliya, King Parikshit inquired, why did Kāliya leave Ramanaka Islands, the abode of the serpents? And why did Garuda become so antagonistic toward him? Why did Garuda become so antagonistic toward him alone? Commentary Sārārtha-darśinī vritti by Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. This chapter relates the reasons for Kāliya's fear of Garuda, Sobhari Muni's curse on Garuda, Krishna's reunion with the Vrajavasis, and saving the boys from the forest fire. Shri Shuka Uvacha Upaharyai Sarpa Janar Masi Masi Hayo Bali Vanaspatyo Mahabhaho Naganang Prang Nirupita Swang Sambhagam Prayachanti Nagha Parvani Parvani Gopitayatmana Sarve Suparnaya Mahatmane. Shukadev Goswami said, to avoid being eaten by Garuda, the serpents had previously made an arrangement with him whereby they would each make a monthly offering of tribute at the base of a tree. Thus, every month on schedule, O mighty armed King Parikshit, each serpent would duly make his offering to that powerful carrier of Vishnu as a purchase of protection. Commentary. Once every 15 days, Parvani Parvani, The snakes used to individually offer they used to individually offer Garuda specially prepared fruits and roots under a tree so that he would not eat them and to ensure their protection. Vishavirya madavishta kadravesyas tu Kāliya kadarti kritya garudam swayam tang bubhuje balim. Although all the other serpents were dutifully making offerings to Garuda, one serpent, the arrogant Kāliya, son of Kadru, would eat all these offerings before Garuda would claim them. Thus Kāliya directly defied the carrier of Lord Vishnu. Commentary. Kāliya did not offer his share to Garuda, and moreover, he ate all the other offerings meant for Garuda. Thus Kāliya directly disrespected the bearer of Vishnu. The other snakes on Ramanaka Island informed Garuda about Kāliya's arrogant behavior. Tachrutva kupito rajan bhagavan bhagavat priya vijighangsur mahavega kaliyang samapadravat. O king, the greatly powerful Garuda, who is very dear to the Supreme Lord, became angry when he heard of this. Desiring to kill Kāliya, he rushed toward the serpent with tremendous speed. Tam apatantam tarasa vishayuda pratyabhyayad uttitanaikamashtaka tadbhi suparnam vyadashad ayudha karala jigro chvasito grablochana. As Garuda swiftly fell upon him, Kāliya, who had the weapon of poison, raised his numerous heads to counterattack. Showing his ferocious tongues and expanding his horrible eyes, Kāliya then bit Garuda with the weapons of his fangs. Commentary. From a great distance, Kāliya could spit venom at his enemy, and at a short range, he could bite with his terrible fangs. Kāliya had a ferocious tongue, loud hissing, and terrible eyes. Tang Tarkshaputra Sanirasya Manyuman Prachandavego Madhusudanasana Pakshena Savyena Hiranyarochisha Jaghana Kadru Sutam Uga Vikramam. The angry son of Tarksha removed with over... Sorry, one second. Okay. The angry son of Tarksha moved with overwhelming speed in repelling Kāliya's attack. That terribly powerful carrier of Lord Madhusudan struck the son of Kadru with his left wing, which shone like gold. Commentary. Garuda, the angry son of Kasyapa, and the carrier of Madhusudan, moved quickly to keep Kāliya from biting him. Suparna pakshabhihata Kāliyoti vavivala haradam vivesha kalindyas taragamyam durasadam. Beaten by Garuda's wing, Kāliya was extremely distraught, and thus he took shelter of a lake adjoining the river Yamuna. Garuda could not enter this lake. Indeed, he could not even approach it. Commentary. Kāliya fled to a lake adjoining the Yamuna, which was difficult for others to enter because of the depth. Tatraikada jalam charam garudo bhakshamipsitam nivarita subharina prasahya kshudito harat. In that very lake, Garuda had once desired to eat a fish bing. What? What's a fish bing? I think that's a mistake. A fishy fish. Okay, he wanted to eat a fish bing. After all, his normal food. Oh, sorry. That's supposed to be M dash. Sorry. So he desired to eat a fish. Fish being, after all, his normal food. Although forbidden by the sage Sobhari, who was meditating there within the water, Garuda took courage and, feeling hungry, seized the fish. Commentary. This verse explains why Garuda could not enter Kāliya's lake. Sobhari committed two offenses against the great devotee Garuda. First, he dared to give an order to his superior, and second, he obstructed Garuda's happiness. Disobeying Sobhari's order, Garuda committed violence by eating the fish. But this was not an offense because Garuda was superior to Sobhari Muni. Just checking the comments 1 second. Haribo, Champak Didi, and Gargraji. Okay. Meenam tu sudukitam. Meenam sudukitam drishtva dina meena pato hate. Kripaya Sobhari praha tatratya kshemamacharan. Seeing how the unfortunate fish in that lake had become most unhappy at the death of their leader, Sobhari uttered the following curse under the impression that he was mercifully acting for the benefit of the lake's residents. Commentary. This verse describes the third offense to Garuda. Though showing compassion toward the fish, Sobhari displayed anger towards Garuda. Sobhari's attempt to help the fish had the opposite effect because Kāliya moved there and thus spelled doom for all the lake's residents. This verse illustrates that when one's so-called compassion does not tally with the order of the Supreme, it merely creates chaos. Wow. So Sobhari thought he was saving the fish, but he actually killed all the fish, really. Like he caused all the fish to be killed, I mean. Atra pavishya garudo yadimatsyan sakadati sadhya pranar vyujeta satyametar pravimyaham. If Garuda ever again enters this lake and eats the fish here, he will immediately lose his life. What I am saying is the truth. Commentary. The statement, if Garuda enters this lake and eats the fish, he will immediately die, means that if Garuda entered the lake but did not eat fish, he would not die immediately, but slowly. Whereas if he ate the fish, he would die immediately. Being omniscient, Garuda understood that Sobhari had made this curse, and thus he avoided this lake. Kāliya had heard the story from his relatives residing in that lake. Therefore, he took shelter there. Due to his bad association with the fish, Sobhari Muni developed attachment and affection, lost his power of discrimination, and cursed an exalted devotee of Lord Vishnu. The 9th canto of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam describes that because of false pride, Sobhari Muni committed a great offense, and thus lost his power of austerity and spiritual beauty, and then fell from the bliss of Brahman. Then Sobhari Muni acquired a youthful body because of his accumulated penances, married many beautiful princesses, and thus fell into a hellish existence of material pleasure. However, because he had once become glorious by taking shelter of the Yamuna River in Vrindavan, he was ultimately delivered. Tat Kāliya parang veda nanya kaścana liha avastid garudarbhita krishnena cha vivasita. Of all the serpents, only a Kāliya came to know of this affair, and in fear of Garuda, he took up residence in that Yamuna lake. Later, Lord Krishna drove him out. Krishnam radhar vinishkrantam devyasra gandhavasasam mahamani ganakirnam jambunada parishkritam upalabhyo titha sarve labdha prana ivasava pramuda nibhritatmano gopa pritya bhire bhire. Resuming his description of Krishna's chastisement of Kāliya, Shukadeva Goswami continued. Okay, so we're going back to Krishna's chastisement of Kāliya. Krishna rose up out of the lake wearing divine garlands, fragrances, and garments, covered with many fine jewels and decorated with gold. When the cowherds saw him, they all stood up immediately, just like an unconscious person's senses coming back to life. Filled with great joy, they affectionately embraced him. Commentary. After completing this story, Shukadev returns to the main story. This verse indicates that Krishna came out of the lake in a special way. Krishna was kicking his feet in the water, and unseen by others, placing his feet upon the heads of other serpents in the water that had been ordered to serve Krishna by Kāliya. Cool. He's like dancing on serpents' heads. If this were not so, Krishna's whole body would have again become wet. The description of Krishna's wearing divine flower garlands and fresh cloth would not be appropriate. The boys regained their sense perception just like a dying man regaining his vital force. Their minds were filled with bliss. Gopa here refers to Krishna's cowherd friends, not the cowherd men. Because of natural unsteadiness, the boys would have embraced Krishna before their elders. Yashoda Rohini Nando Gopyo Gopascha Kaurava Krishnam Sameta Labdheha Asan Shuksha Naga Api. Having regained their vital functions, Yashoda, Rohini, Nanda, and all the other cowherd women and men went up to Krishna. O descendant of Kuru, even the dried up trees came back to life. Commentary. Disregarding any embarrassment or fear of her elders, Mother Yashoda exclaimed with great happiness and a choked voice, "My son has been saved!" Rohini and other close friends stood behind Yashoda in a tight circle. Nanda Maharaj stood behind Rohini. Due to impatience over the delay in meeting his son, Nanda Maharaj, overwhelmed in love, abandoned his normal gravity and hastily made his way through the throng of women. Other cowherd men and women stood behind this intimate group. Having been saved from death, the elderly gopis returned to life and hurried to Krishna. However, the word cha indicates that the young damsels of Vraj, such as Radhika, who were developing their loving attachment for Krishna, glanced upon their darling from a distance. Ramaschachuttamalingya jahasyanubhavavit premnatam ankamaropya punar adikshata gava vrisha vasataryo lebhire paramamudam. Lord Balaram embraced his infallible brother and laughed, knowing well the extent of Krishna's potency. Out of feelings of great love, Balaram lifted Krishna up on his lap and repeatedly looked at him. The cows, bulls, and young female calves also achieved the highest pleasure. What about the male calves? How come they were excluded? Commentary. Smiling, Balaram said, "You have done just the right thing." Though Balaram was well aware of Krishna's strength, he looked at him intensely again and again in order to see if Krishna had incurred any injuries from fighting Kāliya. Nandang vipra samakatya guravasa kalatrakha uchuste Kāliya grasto dishta muktastavatmaja. All the respectable Brahmins, together with their wives, came forward to greet Nanda Maharaj. They said to him, "Your son was in the grips of Kāliya, but by the grace of Providence, he is now free." Commentary. Gurava refers to the Purohits, the family priests, such as Bhaguri Muni, the chief pandit in the court of Nanda Maharaj. Dehi danam tijatinam Krishna nirmukti hetave Nanda prita manarajan gasuvarnam tadadishat. The Brahmins then advised Nanda Maharaj, "To assure that your son Krishna will always be free from danger, you should give charity to the Brahmins." To us, in other words. With a satisfied mind, O king, Nanda Maharaj then very gladly gave them gifts of cows and gold. Yashodapi Mahabhaga Nashtalabdha Prajasati Parishvajyankam Aropya Mumochashru Kalang Muhu. The greatly fortunate Mother Yashoda, having lost her son and then regained him, placed him on her lap. That chaste lady cried constant torrents of tears as she repeatedly embraced him. Commentary. After getting back her son who was almost lost, Mother Yashoda sat Krishna on her lap and tightly embraced him. Yashoda could not do this before because there were many people around. Tang ratrem tatra rajendra kshutribhyam shramakarshita ushur vrayo kaso gava kalindya upakulata. O best of kings, Parikshit, because the residents of Vrindavan were feeling very weak from hunger, thirst, and fatigue, they and the cows spent the night where they were, lying down near the bank of the Kalindi. It's kind of cool. Commentary. The Vrajavasis looked at Krishna with unblinking eyes and said, "Let us rest here tonight. By good fortune, Kāliya has gone, but if he comes back to take revenge, then all of us can fight him with clubs." The Vrajavasis situated themselves at another place on the bank of the Yamuna due to fear of the poisonous water in Kāliya's lake. They found a place where there would be no possibility of being surrounded by fire, and where they could fulfill their desire to keep Krishna constantly in their sight. Tada shuchi vanor bhuto tavagni sarvato vrajam suptam nishita avritya pradagdhum upachakrame. During the night, while all the people of Vrindavan were asleep, a great fire blazed up within the dry summer forest. The fire surrounded the inhabitants of Vraj on all sides and began to scorch them. Commentary. Shuchi means summer. A fire blazed up in the forest dried by the summer heat and surrounded the sleeping cows and the Vrajavasis. Perhaps a loyal friend of Kāliya had assumed the form of a fire to avenge his friend. Or maybe the fire was manifest by a demon follower of Kamsa. Tatta uthaya sampranta dahyamana vrajokasa krishnam yayuste sharanam maya manujamishvaram. Then the residents of Vrindavan woke up, extremely disturbed by the great fire threatening to burn them. Thus they took shelter of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, who by his spiritual potency appeared like an ordinary human being. Commentary. Vrajokasa refers to those who lived in Vraj engaged in agricultural work. Krishna is described as Manujam, appearing as a human being in his original form. The Vedic mantras state, Sarupa Bhutaya Nityas Saktya Maya Kyaya. The Lord's eternal potency named Maya is innate in his original form. Thus, within the eternal spiritual body of Sri Krishna, there is infinite potency which effortlessly manipulates all existence according to the omniscient desire of the Lord. The Vrajavasis took shelter of Krishna, thinking, Lord Narayan will surely empower this darling boy to protect us. They remembered what Gargacharya had said about Krishna during his birth ceremony. By his power, you will easily be able to cross over all obstacles. That was from the 8th chapter, verse 16. Therefore, the Vrajavasis took complete shelter in Krishna with full faith that he would save them from the forest fire. Yeah, Manjari Didi, it's true. There are a lot of similarities between Kāliya Daman Leela and Govardhan Leela in that everyone gets to see Krishna together and stays together. Yeah. Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga He Rama Mita Vikrama esha ghoratmano vahnis tavakan grasate hinam. Vrindavan's residents said, Krishna, Krishna, O Lord of all opulence, O Ram, possessor of unlimited power, this most terrible fire is about to devour us, your devotees. Commentary. The Vrajavasis called out to Balaram as well, because he had also shown that he was omniscient. By saying Amita Vikrama, they infer that Balaram, like Krishna, was invested with the supernatural power of some demigod. Verse 24. Sudustaran naswan pahi kalagne sohrida prabho nashaknumas tvachcharanam santyaktum akuto bhayam. O Lord, we are your true friends and devotees. Please protect us from this insurmountable fire of death. We can never give up your lotus feet, which drive away all fear. Commentary. Kalagne here means the fire of death. The Vrajavasis prayed, O Lord, if we die in this fire, we will be separated from your lotus feet, and this is unbearable for us. Therefore, please save us just so that we can keep on serving you. Itam swajana vaiklavyam niriksha jagarishvara tam agnim apibat tivram ananto nanta shakti dhrik. Seeing his devotees so disturbed, Sri Krishna, the infinite Lord of the universe and possessor of infinite power, then swallowed the terrible forest fire. Commentary. In order to protect his family members, Krishna's praying for them began to search for a suitable power within Krishna to finish the forest fire. That's very interesting. Krishna's praying began to search for a suitable power within him to finish the forest fire. How can this very young, tender boy swallow such an intense fire? Thus, Krishna's Sangharika Shakti, Krishna's power of destruction, swallowed the fire. Therefore, the description of Krishna being the possessor of unlimited potencies, Shakti Dhrik, and thus swallowing the fire, is only a figure of speech, since his Sangharika Shakti actually did it. Thus ends the commentary of the 17th chapter of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the devotees in accordance with the previous acharyas. So normally I would start this chapter 18, but because today is a very special day, it's Jhula Nyatra Day, I thought maybe we could read something about Jhula Nyatra. So we will read this chapter 18, Lord Balaram slays the demon Pralamba. We'll read this when? I actually don't know what the program's going to be because we're going to be doing kirtan every morning for the next 3 days. So we might have to take a break for a little while. But I don't know. If you're in our Bhagavatam WhatsApp group, I'll keep you updated on what the program is. And if you'd like to be in the Bhagavatam WhatsApp group, just send me a message and I will add you. So let's see, what can we find to read? Check out Pure Bhakti and also bcvani.com. Chaitanya Vani. Oh, well, an amazing thing, like the most amazing description ever is in the Ananda Vrindavan Champu, the last chapter. And it's mind-blowing, really, isn't it? Have you read that? Yeah. But it might be too long to read now. So maybe I could read that another day. Yeah, it's I'm telling you, if you read the description is just yeah, you can't describe it with words. You have to just read it yourself. Actually, I think I even bought an Ananda Vrindavan Champu just to read that chapter. Let me see. Or no, I know I got in a Kindle Unlimited plan so that I could read it. That's what it was. Anyhow, the swing ceremony. So first we're reading from purebhakti.com. This is a class that my Gurudev gave in 2003. August 8th, 2003. Oh, which is today. Today's August 8th. And Srila Rupa Goswami's disappearance day. So let me make this big. Every year there is a five-day festival all over Vrindavan called Jhulan Yatra, at which time the Vijay Vigraha, the small deities of Shishi, Radha, and Krishna, are swung by hundreds of thousands of Vrajvasis and others in their various temples or homes on a beautiful swing attached to long ropes. Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj yearly led the festival at Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math and Sri Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, at which time he would give a short talk about the significance of this festival. Oh, I think I forgot to say Jhulan Yatra while I was saying Jaidwani. Radha Govinda Yatra Mahotsav ki Jai. Okay. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Just checking the comments. Okay, Rup Manjari Didi. Oh, that's a very good point. We could read chapter 18 for Baladev Purnima. Great idea. In the month of Shravan, the rainy season, the clouds in the sky begin to make a thundering sound, and extremely fine mist-like rain drizzles everywhere. The atmosphere is very beautiful and pleasant after the heat of the summer months, for at that time all forests of Vrindavan begin to bloom. Many types of flowers on both sides of the Yamuna, such as beli, chameli, jui, and madhavi, begin to bloom. The bumblebees look here and there and chant, Radhe Radhe. All the cuckoos also call out, Radhe Radhe. The peacocks and peahens all call out, Keka, Keka. Ke means, which male person has the ability to do a very wonderful thing? Srimati Radhika's man, her sulky mood of transcendental loving jealous anger, as well as her shyness and patience, are like a very tall and immovable mountain. Which male person, K, can crush that mountain into powder and so that there is nothing left? This person is Sri Krishna. Ka means, which female person can do a very wonderful thing? There is a powerful mad elephant named Sri Krishna who no one can control. One person, however, by the goad of her man, can catch that elephant, bring him under her control, and then bind him in the shackles of her prem. Who is that? It is Srimati Radhika. In this way, the peacocks and peahens glorify Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna. At the time of Shravan, the rainy season, everything becomes green. The summer was dry, but now the rain has come and all the greenery has come to life again. All the young brides are taken at this time from their mother-in-law's homes by their brothers, and they return to their father's home. Srimati Radhika was still at her in-laws' home in Yavat. Srimati Radhika was still at her in-laws' home at Yavat, however, because her brother, Sridham, had not come. Much time had passed, and finally he arrived there on the full moon day with some clothing and ornaments to pacify Srimati Radhika's mother-in-law, Jatila. Seeing her brother, Srimati Radhika wept. "Oh, my dear brother, why have you come so late? Only a few days remain of this Shravan month. Why did you come late? Why did you forget me?" Srimati Radhika then very happily left Javat and went to Varshana, Rishabhanapur, with her brother. And there she met together with all of her Sakis, her intimate friends, as they had also returned to their maternal homes at that time. It was a very beautiful meeting and reunion in the place of their childhood play. The Sakis made a jhulan, a swing for her. They always make the swing on a Kadamba tree and not on a tamal tree. The significance of a Kadamba tree is that it carries the complexion of Srimati Radhika, and the tamal tree has a complexion of Sri Krishna. The tamal tree is not very powerful, but the Kadamba tree is very strong and beautiful. This signifies the superiority of Srimati Radhika. She can control Lord Krishna by her love. Ajhule Radha Damodar Vrindavana mein, Ajhula Jhule Radha Damodar Vrindavana mein, Kesi chai hariyali ali kunjana mein, Jhula Jhule Radha Damodar Vrindavana mein. Radha Damodar are swinging on the swing in Vrindavan. Oh friends, how very green the kunja is. We sing this kirtan at the time of swinging Shishi, Radha, and Krishna. It describes how Krishna has come and is waiting at the swing with folded palms for his beloved to come. Srimati Radhika is in Man, and her Sakis try to persuade her to come by saying, "Please give up your sulky mood and come at once to your beloved Krishna. He is waiting for you." 1 second, just seeing if there's... No. In this way, we are observing Jhulan Yatra and remembering the sweet pastimes of Shishi, Radha, and Krishna. When Srila Gurudev's discourse was completed, the over 200 devotees at Sri Rup Sanatan Mandir then accompanied him on the 5-minute walk to Sri Gopinath Gaudiya Math, where they all performed the swing ceremony for Shishi, Radha, Gopinath and sang the same kirtan. The assembled devotees then sat in the temple courtyard to hear Srila Gurudev speak once again. Tomorrow is the disappearance day of Srila Rupa Goswami. Even though there are many great acharyas, Srila Rupa Goswami has been attributed with the honor of being that person who established the Manobhisham, the innermost heart's desire of Sri Krishna in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Srimad Mahaprabhu came to the village of Ramakeligram, he met with Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami and told them, "Leave your homes and be with me." After a short time, they left their homes, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came from Vrindavan and met with Srila Rupa Goswami at Prayag, the confluence of the rivers Ganga, Yamuna, and Ganga. Mahaprabhu told him, "Para shunya gabhir bhakti rasa sindhu, tomai chakaite tar kahi eka bindhu." The ocean of the transcendental mellows of devotional service is so large that no one can estimate its length and breadth. However, just to help you taste it, I am describing one drop. Chaitanya gave one drop of the ocean of ras to Srila Rupa Goswami, and that one drop was sufficient to inundate millions upon millions of universes. Later, he met with Srila Sanatana Goswami in Varanasi. After some time, Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami came here to Vrindavan and began to perform their bhajan, their hearing, chanting, and remembering about Krishna. Rupa Goswami thought, in order to fulfill the innermost heart's desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will write a drama. In this drama, I will explain the beauty of the meeting pastimes of Srimati Radhika and Sri Krishna in Vrindavan, and also their separation pastimes. Lord Krishna leaves Vrindavan and goes to Mathura and Dwarka. I will explain how, by their expansions, Srimati Radhika and all the Sakis, somehow or other, by the medium of their expansions, went to Dwarka and became Lord Krishna's 16,108 queens. He intended to write about this, but while he was traveling towards Jagannath Puri, he came to the village of Satyabhamapur. There, Srimati Satyabhama Devi, Lord Krishna's chief queen, appeared to him in a dream and told him, "Please don't make only one drama. Please divide it into 2 parts." Then, when Srila Rupa Goswami finally arrived at Jagannath Puri and met with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord confirmed what he had heard from Srimati Satyabhama in his dream. Mahaprabhu told him, "Don't take Lord Krishna out of Vrindavan. Krishnonyo yadu samputo ya purna sostyadas param Vrindavanam parityaja sakvachin naiva gacchati." The Krishna known as Yadu Kumar is Vasudev Krishna. He is different from the Krishna who is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Yadu Kumar Krishna manifests his pastimes in the cities of Mathura and Dwarka. But Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, never at any time leaves Vrindavan. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 167. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. He never even sets one foot outside of Vrindavan. Srila Rupa Goswami then divided his drama into two parts. The first part is called Vidagdha Madhav, Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. And in the second part, called Lalita Madhav, he goes to Dwarka, and all the gopis of Vrindavan were reunited with him in the form of the queens of Dwarka. Why did Srila Rupa Goswami do this? This is a very deep siddhanta. Srila Kavi Karnapur, a great devotee, a very great, has composed Sri Ananda Vrindavan Champu. In this book, he described the pastimes of Lord Krishna from his birth up to Ras Lila and the divine couple's swing pastimes, and he stopped there. He didn't go further than this. He didn't describe about Krishna's going to Mathura or Dwarka, because this separation mood is very difficult to tolerate for the pure devotees. He was thus thinking, my mistress Radhika cannot tolerate this separation, so I will not write about it. Srila Rupa Goswami, however, has written about the moods of both meeting and separation, because this separation is a very deep, transcendental, ecstatic feeling. At the time of meeting, though Radharani and Krishna are together, something may be forgotten or lost in the heart. On the other hand, at the time of separation, there is complete meeting in new and fresh ways in the heart. And not only inside, but sometimes externally there are spurtis, temporary visions in which the loved one is actually present. Knowing all these very profound, transcendental established truths, and wanting to establish the desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu within the world, Srila Rupa Goswami also glorified the mood of separation. Although this mood is very high and has many transcendental features that will not come at the time of meeting, still, it is not our goal of life. No Gaudiya Vaishnavas want Shri Radha and Krishna to be eternally separated. What kind of person would want this? No Vrajavasi would want it. However, there is a place for this separation mood, and Srila Rupa Goswami has explained this in his book Ujjvala Nilamani. Na vina vipralambha sambhoga pushti masnute. Without the mood of separation, the mood of meeting will not be nourished and come to increasingly higher stages. The pastimes of separation are very important because they play the role of nourishing the sweetness of meeting. When Srila Rupa Goswami was in Puri with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord was dancing at the Ratha Yatra festival and uttering a verse from a book of mundane poetry called Sahitya Darpan. Yako marahara sa eva hivaras ta eva chaitra kshapas te chonmilita malati surabhaya proda kadam panila sa chaivasmi tathapi tatra surata vyapara lila vido revaro dasiveta tarutale cheta samutkanthate. That very personality who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlit nights of the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of malati flowers is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover. I am the same lover, yet my mind is not happy here. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the river, under the Vetasi tree. That is my desire. No one could understand why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was uttering this verse and in what mood he was absorbed. There was one young boy there, however, named Rupa, who later on became that very same Rupa Goswami. There and then, upon hearing this verse from Mahaprabhu, another verse appeared in his own heart, and he wrote it down. Yasoyam Krishna Sahachari Kurukshetra Militas Tataham Sārātha Tadidam Ubhaya Sangama Sukam Tatapyanta Kelan Madhura Murali Panchama Dushchushe Mano Me Kalindi Pulina Vipinaya Sprihayati. This is a verse spoken by Srimati Radharani. My dear friends, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. I am the same Radharani, and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but still I would like to go to the bank of the Yamuna beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of a sweet flute playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavan. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 176. In verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has clarified that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's inner meaning, he has clarified Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's inner meaning, and thus he revealed to the world the importance of Parakiya Ras, the mood of paramour love between Lord Krishna and the gopis. Srila Rupa Goswami is that very person who established within this world the innermost heart's desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 1 second, just checking everything's running okay. Okay. After Sriman Mahaprabhu disappeared from the vision of the world, the discussion of Parakiya Ras was not prominent. According to scripture, mundane Ras, the world's love between those who are unmarried, is very immoral, illicit, and sinful. However, in addition to manifesting the endless varieties and wonder of Vipralamba and Sambhog, the meeting and separation pastimes of Radha and Krishna, Srila Rupa Goswami also established the superiority of Parakiya Ras. By using evidence from the many Shastras, he proves that Lord Shri Krishna is not an ordinary Nayak, an ordinary lover, and Radhika is not an ordinary Nayika, beloved. In other words, when there is meeting between a mundane lover and beloved in the Parakiya mood, it is very sinful. But Shri Krishna is a transcendental personality, God himself, and everything is possible for him. Therefore, if he is the object of the Parakiya Bhav, there is no fault or defect in this. Rather, this is the topmost, supremely pure manifestation of Madhurya Prem, the romantic mood. Srila Rupa Goswami established the fact that Lord Krishna himself came into this world to teach these mellows. And as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna experienced the Parakiya Bhakti Ras that is within the heart of Srimati Radhika. Anarpita charim chirat karunaya avatirna kalo samarpayitum unoto jvala rasam sabhakti shriyam hari purata sundara dyuti kadamba sandipita sada hridaya kandare spurato vasachi nandanaha. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Shachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. It's from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 1.4. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? It's a prayer by Srila Narottam Das Ṭhākura. These deliberations and philosophical conclusions are extremely deep and very difficult to understand. It is therefore essential that one come under the guidance of a self-realized guru and pure devotees, and give one's full time and energy, very hard labor, an enthusiastic work in the service of that Guru and in chanting the holy names of Krishna and performing bhajan. One should also make a great effort to understand and realize the reason for which Srila Rupa Goswami appeared in this world and why he wrote so many books like Srila Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Shri Ujjvala Nilamani, Shri Vidagdha Madhav, and Shri Lalit Madhav. Unless one comes to the lotus feet of Shri Guru and makes a very great endeavor to understand these topics, after some time he will be taken away by Maya and engage in mundane activities. This is a very important point. Srila Gurudev announced at the end of the class that all the devotees will meet him at Sri Rup Sanatan Mandir the following morning to observe Srila Rupa Goswami's disappearance day at 6 a.m. They will go together to Sri Radha Damodar Mandir, to Srila Rupa Goswami's Samadhi and Bhajan Kutir, and there they will have more kirtan and glorification. It's so neat that this is syncing up exactly to the calendar today also. Gurudev spoke this all on the 8th of August, and it's the 8th of August here in Vrindavan. This is from 2003. And here, look, there's some movies from 2004, 2006, 2007, 2009 of this Julan festival here with Gurudev in Vrindavan. And also here are the two kirtan. Here are two recordings of the song Radhe Julana Padaro Juki Ai Badara that we sing during Julan time. So you can find this all on purebhakti.com. It's the main article on display. Here's darshan. All right. So, one sec. Haribo Manjari. My great fortune to be able to read. But yeah, sometime I really like to read this from this Ananda Vrindavan Champu, the last chapter. We see now even Gurudev was referring to this last chapter of Ananda Vrindavan Champu. It really is just astonishing. It's one of the most descriptive things I've ever read, really. Like about, oh God, you just have to read it. I don't know when I'll be able to read it though. Because now we're going to be doing this Rupa Goswami festival. I'll see, maybe I could pre-record it and make the video go live. I don't know. Anyways, if possible, try to find it and read it. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Binod Bihari Ju ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki Jai Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Shri Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Shmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Nitil Pavishtam Vishnupad Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai Nitil Pavishtam Bhagavat Shri Gokshuras Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Nitil Pavishta Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki Jai Nitil Pavishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dashagunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai नाम चाहे श्रील रस ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदाता गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। श्री झूलन यात्रा महामहोत्सव की जय। श्री पवित्र रोपण एकादशी तिथि की जय। तिथि पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री रूप गोस्वामी पाद की जय। Okay. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Om Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priyaya Keshavasacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Right, Dandavat Pranam everybody. See you all. I don't know when actually, because I'm going to be doing kirtan tomorrow. We'll probably be at Rupa Goswami's Samadhi this time tomorrow. So instead of following whatever program that I normally do, you can check out on Facebook, and I'm sure there'll be lots of devotees going live, and you can watch all the arti and harikatha and everything that we do at Srila Rupa Goswami Samadhi at Radha Damodar Mandir. And I'm going to be going there right this minute, actually. So I don't know, I'll make a special prayer for everybody here and for myself, that we can understand, go more deep into the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami and understand what is that Manobhishta that of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he fulfilled. I don't know, something. Okay. Hari Bol, everybody. See you all later on, whenever. Jai Shri Radhe.